through the lens of his loss. Preston's captain there, Ben Whiteman, who made that read in front of the travelling fans. And it's Mo Salah who has the captain's armband for Liverpool today. Well, these are the teams that have been picked to start the game. There'll be plenty of changes as the match goes on. This is the Liverpool side, their new record signing, Florian Wirtz, not part of their squad just yet, but Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong are both on the bench, having signed for Bournemouth and Bayer Leverkusen as two new fullbacks. Salah captain in the absence of Virgil van Dijk. There's a first sighting of new Georgian goalkeeper Georgi Mamardashvili. The likes of Alisson, Konate, Diaz, McAllister, Elliott are yet to return to action. Joe Gomez back fit again, and there are starting spots for three young players: Lucas Stevenson, Trey Nyoni and Rio Ngamoa. Ngamoa is just 16 years of age. Well, Preston have made 6 signings so far this summer. 3 of them start today. Daniel Everson's in goal, Paul Valentin playing as the right wing-back, Thierry Small at left wing-back, and Will Keane there up front, along with the striker Milutin Osmajic. On the bench there, Daniel Jefferson, who joined on loan from Bournemouth. Well, before the match, there is to be a moment of silence to remember both Diogo Jota and his brother, Andre Silva. Well, Jota and his family will forever be in the hearts and minds of every Liverpool player and supporter. As Arne Slot said this week, there's a deep sadness but also a sense of pride. You know just how special the person Diogo Jota was. Well, there's never the right time to return to playing or even to talk about football once again. As someone once said, it's the least important of the most important things in life. But for the players now, Stephen, being out there on the pitch again, will that bring some form of comfort for them?
It will a little bit, but I can imagine how difficult that was for the players to stand there, to listen to You'll Never Walk Alone as they're walking out, and that moment of silence there was very difficult for not only us, just as fans and supporters of football, but his teammates. That will have been extremely difficult. But now it's about trying to get back to business and trying to ultimately show the quality that they've got and trying to win another title in memory of Diogo Jota.
Well, Virgil van Dijk not part of the matchday squad. Andy Robertson there is named on the bench. The sun is beaming down upon Deepdale. The cooling breaks in both halves. And Preston North End will get this match underway. What happens in these next 90-odd minutes won't really matter. There's one man who is in the thoughts of everyone here, and I'm sure as this game goes on we will hear that soundtrack, the Diogo Jota song, throughout the day. It is sold out here at Deepdale, and there are the best part of 6,000 Liverpool fans who are away to our left-hand side in that Bill Shankly Kop end. The man who transformed Liverpool in 15 years in charge and was a former FA Cup winner as a player with Preston in the 1930s. And these fans have been packed in for many hours, and there'll be tributes in the weeks and months ahead. And the players will hope to pay the ultimate tribute to their fallen teammate in this campaign, which begins here, Liverpool's first pre-season game. For Preston, it is their second match. They're back in the Championship once again in a month's time. Chance for some Liverpool youngsters to impress and seize this chance today. As I mentioned earlier, no Florian Wirtz, the new record signing. Players are on individual programmes in terms of their return to action, and it is all about fitness now for these players at the moment. The fine-tuning will come as the weeks move towards the new campaign starting for real.
I think that's the big thing when you think about pre-season games. It's not necessarily about the quality. For the fans, it's all about seeing the new players. Mamardashvili in the Liverpool goal is a new player to them. Obviously got Kerkez and Frimpong on the bench, but it's exciting times for a fan to see the new players. And then from Preston's point of view as well, they're looking to see what their new players are going to add to their team for the up-and-coming season.
It's Costa Simicas at left back for Liverpool, and now Joe Gomez. This is Lucas Stevenson, who's just 21. Right-sided centre-back in this system from the start here. Sabosline moving forward. And that goes for a goal kick.
Didn't look best pleased, did he, there, Sabosline? But one thing we'd say is there's the running power of Conor Bradley early on in the game. Now that Trent Alexander-Arnold has departed, there's that position at right-back up for grabs between him and Frimpong. He'll be trying to impress as early as he can to make sure that come the first game of the Premier League, he's in that right-back position.
Diogo Jota had worn that number 20 shirt with such distinction, and the shirt which has now been retired in his honour at all levels across the club, in the men's, women's and academy squads, a fitting gesture. Bradley. Tussle for him to have that starting spot playing at right back with Frimpong, who has been signed from the German club by Leverkusen. Sabosline. There's Sava. Trey Leone, he's just 18 in that midfield. Made wide there by Simicas, out for Rio Ngumoa, 16-year-old, finding Sabosline. Chiesa was there tussling for it too. Poked away by Stefan Tordasa for Preston.
There's the sign from Ngumoa, just that ability in 1v1 situations. Very, very comfortable going either way, inside or out, and he's just explosive when he gets on the ball, so dynamic. I think he's the player that Liverpool fans are very excited to see the progress of over the next couple of years.
That one senior match in the FA Cup back in January. Thumping home win over Accrington Stanley. Simicas. Now Nioni. Led away by Jordan Story. Well, Arne Slot, not the first Liverpool manager to become a father figure, as well as a football coach in a time of great sadness. But he has led the club in his usual calm and dignified manner, a father of 2 teenage children himself. And he's fully aware this is only a game in the wider, bigger picture of life. But he's spoken over the past day or so of his bond with the city having grown now over the past few weeks.
Yeah, I certainly think we've seen that over the first year or so, but this has been even more strengthened with what's gone on in the last few weeks. I agree with you, Joe, completely. I think he's handled it so well, so calm in the way he approaches everything, so well thought out when he speaks with the press, when he speaks with his players. He's carried himself and the club extremely well.
Andrew Hughes, Story, Daniel Everson, who is back for a second stint at Preston, having rejoined from Leicester City. Headed back there by Stevenson too, Georgi Mamardashvili. He really impressed at international level with Georgia at the Euros last summer. He was signed a year ago, but was loaned back to his former club Valencia. Now he has a chance in this first friendly match to wear that red shirt for the first time. And wait to see Anderson, I'm sure, will be number 1 as the weeks go on, but Abadashvili hasn't signed to be number 2.
No, he certainly hasn't, and he's an exceptional goalkeeper, incredible stature about him, incredible performances for his time at Valencia and also for the Georgian national team. But I think Jurgen Klopp spoke about Wavim Kelleher being the best number 2 in world football, and I think that might have just been overtaken now with Abadashvili coming into Liverpool. But what a battle that's going to be throughout the season to have 2 world-class goalkeepers, because he is world-class. He's a top keeper.
Kelleher moved on to become a number 1 at Brentford. Good move that for him. Joe Gomez there with a header. Last action for Liverpool came from an FA Cup loss at Plymouth Argyle all the way back in February. That's a long-term hamstring issue. And Gravenberg for Ungamoa.
Switch of play, arguably one of Liverpool's best players last year. Surprise elements of him dropping into that holding role in midfield, the number 6 position. He was an outstanding performer. Just a little bit heavy with the ball over the top there, but for the players now, it's about just sharpening the tools again and making sure that they're getting their eye in, making sure that they're seeing the passes, and then the execution will come with fitness and more concentration levels.
McCann makes the way. Toddarson, the high-standing international midfielder. And the captain Ben White. McCann again. Toddarson. Preston were a team who only escaped relegation for the Championship on the final day of last season. They ended up in 20th place in the second tier. This is Thierry Small, who's been signed from Charlton. Now Hughes with the ball, in a good one too. It was touched away by Silicat, but it was fantastic service by Andrew Hughes.
Yeah, what a ball this is from Hughes. It's just delivered first time, and you're thinking, can you go and meet it? And Osmajic doesn't think it's going to fall to him. He thinks the defender's going to cut it out. What a ball that was into the middle.
A foul committed by Kostas Tsimikas. Toddarson, who was the match winner in Preston's first friendly, win against 6th-tiered Chorley a few days ago, stands over this free kick. Likes of Gibson, Hughes wait towards the back post area. Planted by Toddarson, but it was flicked away by Bradley. McCann. And Small. Goes down by Szoboszlai. Chiesa helping out too, but Small maintained possession. McCann. Whiteman. And Story. Good ball there for Small. And Hughes overlapping. Small with the cross, and again it's Kostas Tsimikas there defending. Chiesa. Small for a strong start in his left wing-back position.
I think he's a player that's going to excite Preston fans, signing from Charlton, but he's got that pedigree of being at Everton's academy as a youngster, and I know the academy coaches were a bit disappointed to see him leave the setup at Everton, but understandable to go and get first-team action. But you can see straight away how quick and how dynamic he is.
Senior debut for Everton came when he was just 16. Another ball in there by Small, but that one's over here. He helped Charlton win the League One playoffs last season. His uncle, Brian Small, who you might recall did play top-flight football for Aston Villa.
I think from a striker's point of view, what you've seen him do straight away is either get to the line, or if he's got half a yard, he's picking his head up and putting the ball in. So Osmajic and Keane have got to be thinking that ball is going to be coming in as soon as we make eye contact, which is a great thing for a striker to see.
Chiesa went down there, but again, no foul given. And then the shots from quite some way out. It was always veering off target and no real test there for Naranashvili, but he was well hit by Lewis Gibson.
Yeah, it's often the way that when you're playing three at the back now, you'll see a centre-back step into that midfield position and make the numbers up, and Lewis Gibson does that, and as it just opens up for him now, he thinks, well, why not have a pop? No one's coming towards me. It's a nice strike, but always just fading away from the goal, and Naranashvili looked very comfortable, and it was going past the post.
It's the boss line. Gravenberg. And Mo Salah, captain for the day. Tsimikas. And Gaboa up against Paul Valentin. Back for Nioni. Sava. Gravenberg. Dominic Szoboszlai. Sava. Played a match since May, and those national games with Egypt at the end of the season. Taken away there by Hughes. Not held up by Osmajic. Sava. The Szoboszlai. Now Bradley. Liverpool find their rhythm. It was cleared away by Gibson.
It's a good test for Preston. They know that they're going to go up against some good teams next year within the Championship who will dominate the ball. So this is something that Paul Heckingbottom spoke about, was the ability to sit in, but then to play quality football when they go forward and counter-attack, and that's what they're looking to do right now.
Stevenson. Rio Ngamoa. Devilish play by him, but the cross was too strong for Sava.
It's that lovely low centre of gravity that he's got, isn't it? The ability to shift the defender, to create that half a yard. And this is just a little bit of inexperience. That's the bit now where you've got to work on that end product, but that'll arrive to him. We've seen the quality that he's got.
Well, he joined from Chelsea last summer, and that was seen to be a huge coup for Liverpool. He'll be 17 at the end of August. The pass back there for Naranashvili, but dealt with the minimum fuss. Now Sava, who won that golden boot last season. Looking for Szoboszlai. Liverpool, who were champions with 4 matches to spare, they sealed the title on the last weekend of April. That Anfield euphoria off the back of the 5-1 win over Spurs. They did lose their last 2 away games at Chelsea and Brighton. But the hard work was done last year in the first 2/3 of the season, but they got off to an absolutely sensational start.
I think one of the things that Arne Slot wanted the players to do was enjoy the moment. So often we hear managers saying, right, let's go for it, let's try and set a record. He was just living the moment, enjoy that moment of celebrating being champions, and rightly so.
Their aim this year to be back-to-back champions for the first time in over 40 years, since they won 3 on the spin in the 80s. Gamoa tussling away there, but he concedes a free kick given by the referee, Darren England.
I think Valentin, the right wing back for Preston, will be thinking that tomorrow, I've been in a game, I've been tested. I know it's the first game of pre-season, but straight away he's having to defend at his very best and make sure that he is living up to the task of the speed and the ability of Ngamoa.
You mentioned tomorrow off to Spain, Preston North End, where it might actually be cooler than here. A sweltering day in the northwest of England today. This is the first full campaign in charge of Preston for Paul Heckingbottom. It's been a time of plenty of comings and goings for him. Safety in the Championship, the first aim for the coming season.
I think one thing you say when you take over a team midway through the season, it's very difficult to implement your style, especially within the Championship, because the games come so thick and fast. What he'll be hoping now is that he can work on the team shapes, the different shapes that he'll want to play throughout the season, but also train his team fitness-wise to play within that system as well. So often we see when managers come throughout the season, it's very difficult to get them up to speed to the way that they want to play.
Well, they had a chaotic start to last season. Heckingbottom took charge in mid-August, replacing Ryan Lowe, who left after the first game of the season. It was a tough end to last season for Preston. They haven't had a win in the Championship in their last 8 games. Their last league win came in March. Only 1 point from their last 5 games did prove to be enough to keep them up. Lovely play here by Liverpool as Leone finds Ngamoa. And Ngamoa makes the space and lets fly. And deflects away behind for a corner.
Well, when you start pre-season, the one thing you always think if you're a youngster is, can I leave an impression in the manager's mind? And straight away, that is what Ngamoa is doing, because we're seeing the quality that he's got, taking on players, making things happen. Good defending from Preston. It was Ben Whiteman who came out with the block. Well, he'll be asking for the ball every single time.
So Kostas Tsimikas with this Liverpool corner. Gomez was jumping for it. It's come out for Ngamoa. It's Gravenberg and now Szoboszlai. Tsimikas. Leone was there lurking with intent.
One of the other things that you think of as a youngster as well is if you're playing against the Preston in the Championship and they're not far from home, and you think you might not get that much game time at Liverpool this season, could it be an option for a low move? Paul Heckingbottom must be watching him thinking, wouldn't mind him next season in the Championship on loan. What an addition he'd be to the team.
Yeah, there were several players in this Liverpool squad who were away on loan last year and really impressed, and amongst them Lucas Stevenson, who was the Young Player of the Year at Dundee United playing in Scotland. He's come back now with a chance to play first-team football here alongside Joe Gomez. We've seen Van Dijk here, but not part of the matchday squad. There's no Ibrahima Konate here today. They've lost the centre-back to Terrell Kwanzaa, who moved away to Bayer Leverkusen. Bradley. To the company, as he often has. Well, as we tick towards the 20th minute, the Liverpool fans start to build up once again a rendition of the Diogo Jota song. Here's Chiesa with a chance to move in behind for Liverpool. Chiesa bursting through. It's a good challenge. Had to be. Still Chiesa. Tried to whip it. And not quite that bend and curl he was hoping for.
Bruce Gibson just loses the flight of the ball, and you wonder whether Chiesa had the pace to get away, and he did at first, but then Gibson just continued to stay on his feet, made sure that he didn't dive in too early, made sure that he was alongside Chiesa when he did go to ground. Perfectly timed challenge. And Chiesa, Salah's just a little bit too close to him to allow him to get that pass away. Fancies it on his own.
The lad for Portugal, who is better than Figo, as the song goes. chase here goes Osmajic. To Mamardashvili. It was Diogo Jota who scored the first goal of Arne Slot's reign at Liverpool last season. The 2-0 success away to Ipswich Town, which began their title-winning campaign. His final goal for Liverpool was one of their most important goals of last season too, the winner at the Kop End in the derby against Everton back in early April. Fine finish that was so typical of him. Simicas, Szoboszlai was moving from midfield. Just touched away there by Small. Prevents the corner being given away. But there weren't many, Stephen, who felt that Diogo Jota was the best finisher in Liverpool's squad. His movement was really quite something, and remember at times Arne Slot called him at a 9.5, given the way he played the game.
Yeah, different type of striker. Someone who's so small, he wasn't that type of striker that would pin players. He was the one who wanted to play on the shoulder, but also had the ability to link play up as and when needed. I think we often talk about his ability to ghost in between centre-backs and in between defenders, to time the jumps on the headers, and incredible ability. Whenever I used to talk about him, I used to label him the pest, because he was the type of player you wouldn't want to play against, just always constantly in your face, annoying defenders, making life difficult for them. What a tribute this is.
20,000 fans here now, standing and singing in unison. We must pay tribute to Preston as well today for all they've done to mark this very sombre occasion in a very poignant way. A chance for Liverpool here, it's Engamoa. Come back the way of Salah. Chiesa. On that back post area, balancing or in front of Simicas. There by Joe Gomez. Now midway through the first half, the referee has paused the game to allow for a cooling break amidst these very warm conditions deep down. It's going to be a day where we're going to see wholesale changes. We saw Preston in their friendly match a few days ago at Shoreby name an entirely different team for the second half of that game. Liverpool will name a different team for the second half of this game. Should mention there Giovanni van Bronckhorst in your picture, who has become the new assistant coach at Liverpool this summer, replacing Johnny Heitinga, who will have to take charge of Ajax. Van Bronckhorst, a wonderfully experienced figure as both a player and a coach.
Yeah, and an extremely good addition to the backroom staff with the experience that he brings as well, not only from a playing aspect but from a coaching aspect and a managerial aspect. So a wealth of knowledge to add to the backroom staff of Arne Slot. But just this water break is key now for the players. They've only been back a few days, and I think often people think, well, you should be able to play through this, but the heat here is blistering. It's making sure that the players are there for the longevity of the full pre-season and not just this one game.
And that's what these games are about. The hard work done now will reap its rewards as the season goes on. Well, don't forget, it is a bumper day of live football for you, and a huge game coming your way tonight from the Women's Euros as England take on Wales, and so much at stake in that group finale. That's from 7 on ITV1 and STV, whilst over on ITV4 and ITVX, the other game to end the group is between Netherlands and France. Higginbotham has lost a few key players over the summer, and one of them was a goalkeeper, Freddie Woodman, who has now joined Liverpool to join the mass ranks now of Liverpool goalkeepers. Woodman, who was #1 here for the best part of 3 years, may well be the #3 now in Liverpool's ranks.
Yeah, but what are you learning from? Who are you learning from? You're working with the best goalkeeper in world football, in my opinion, in Alisson Becker, but then also you've got Mamardashvili, who's come into the football club, another top performer, world-class ability, and you're thinking, if you can take anything from those two during your training sessions and work as hard as they do, and where does that take you in the future? Great opportunity for him.
Bradley. By Nioni. He's played 6 senior games for Liverpool, all in cup matches.